Hello students! In today's lesson, we are going to learn about form. Last time, we learned a shape is a flat, two-dimensional enclosed space, which can be measured by its length and width, while a form is three-dimensional and can be measured by length, width, and depth. For today's lesson on form, you will need a paper, pencil, and a ruler just in case. These are the shapes we worked on together last time. We learned there are two different types of shapes: geometric shapes, ones that are easy to measure by length and width, while organic shapes are difficult to measure because they have multiple lengths and widths throughout their shape. Well, just like shapes, there are geometric and organic forms. There are many types of geometric forms, but these are the 6 we are going to work on today. We're going to work on a cube, a rectangular prism, pyramid, sphere, cylinder, and a cone. Geometric forms are really cool because you can combine multiple geometric shapes together to create these forms. You can use a ruler here if you would like. Let's draw for the cube, let's draw a square. Now let's connect it with another square at the bottom right corner. Drawing the exact same kind. Okay. See how it made a little square in the middle and they're connected? From these top right corners of both squares, I'm going to connect them with a diagonal line. And over here, I'm going to do the same thing. I made a parallelogram. We're going to talk more about that later. From the bottom right corner of this square to the bottom right corner of this square, connect it with a diagonal line. Same. You've created a cube. See that? Let's do the exact same method, but with rectangles. Let's draw a horizontal rectangle here. One long horizontal line, 2 short vertical lines, connect them together. Horizontal rectangle. Let's do the exact same, starting about here. Okay. Now connect each corners with diagonal lines. Here I made a top parallelogram, and bottom parallelogram. And I've made a rectangular prism. Let's talk about these parallelograms because we didn't get to draw that last time. A parallelogram is made up of 2 diagonal lines going in the same direction, and then they are connected by horizontal lines. Put that all together, and you have a parallelogram. Now, knowing that, let's make our pyramid. Pyramid, you're going to start with a triangle. And then on the bottom corners here, you're going to draw those diagonal lines going in the same direction. And then connect those 2 with another horizontal line, and you've created a parallelogram at the bottom. See that? Now from the top left corner of that parallelogram to the top of this triangle, let's connect the 2. And then from this corner to this top, let's draw a dash line to make it look like it's the inside. And there's your pyramid. Cool, huh? Now, how do we make this circle a sphere? First, draw your circle. Okay, and on this curve of the circle, I'm going to do the same thing on the inside with dash lines. Same going here. Kind of looks like a watermelon or a beach ball. Now let's draw some smiley lines. lines or even ovals. I'm going to draw long ovals connecting on the edge of each of the circle. It's starting to look like a globe. All of that makes it look like it's created form. A cylinder is a long oval. And on the edge of each oval, I'm going to draw a vertical line. And let's draw a curved line. You can even draw a dashed oval on the inside. Looks like a tube, huh? There's your cylinder. Last, a cone. Here is the beginning of a triangle. I'm not going to connect it. Instead of a straight line, let's do the same thing that we did here, where we have a curved, solid oval, and then a dash on the inside. And there's your cone. Organic forms, they're just as difficult to calculate as the shapes because they have multiple lengths, depth, and width. Let's create a simple form. First, let's draw a wavy line with one bump on the bottom and one bump on the top. Now we're going to move a little bit to the right, and we're going to do the exact same thing again. Same size and length. Now you're going to connect the two top bumps with a horizontal line and the bottom bumps with a horizontal line. Now on each end, I'm going to draw an arrow. This one's going down. And then over here, we're going to have them go on the top. We created a ribbon. Do you see it? How it flips up and then it curves and it flips down. If we were to combine more elements of art with this shading and color, we're going to see the ribbon even better. I'm going to take a blue pencil and a violet one. You don't have to do this. I'm just showing you what it would be like to combine other elements of art. The blue is going to be the outside of the ribbon. And I'm going to take the violet and we're going to color the other side of the ribbon this color. We're going to work more with color and shading another time. But do you see the ribbon more now? Wasn't that fun? Let's do a couple more. Let's take this leaf over here and I'm going to draw it on its side on an angle. For the stem, you're going to draw two curved lines going in the opposite direction and then a curved line on the end. It looks pretty flat right now, but if I were to draw the vein in the middle with a curved line, that simple line makes the leaf look like it's curving instead of flat. You can draw a couple more veins on each end, and now it looks like it has multiple curves. Let's draw one more. I'm going to draw an oval here. And then on each end, I'm going to draw a curve, a C and a backward C like this. Let's draw smaller ones at the end. Do you see what I'm making? What do you think it looks like? Can you see it? Now let's draw a circle on top over here. Some curved lines in the middle and the top. Let's draw that leaf over here on the side, on the top. I created a pumpkin. Now all of the things that we've drawn here, these look like they're 3D, but I can't actually pick them up. I can't pick up that cylinder because it's been drawn on paper. That means that these are implied forms. The geometric and the organic forms are implied. I can't actually pick them up with my hands. But an actual cylinder like this cup, this is an actual form. I can hold it in my hands. It has the circle shape. If I move it at an angle, I can see an oval. It has depth, it has length, it has width. For today's art project, we are going to make an actual form. Let's begin. Our art project to teach us more about form is going to be paper pumpkins. To celebrate the autumn season, we're going to create paper pumpkins that we can use to decorate our home. Here are the supplies. You will need 3 different types of colored paper, one for the leaves and vines, one for the stem, and at least 3 sheets for the pumpkin itself. For our adhesives, you will need liquid glue and tape. You will also need scissors, a pencil, and a circle shape to trace. Here, I have a small cup that's about 3 inches in diameter. I also have a scrap cardboard I used to protect my workspace when I used the liquid glue. Some parts of this project may be more difficult than others, but I will guide you every step of the way. Just do the best you can. The first thing we're going to make is a rectangular prism for the center of our pumpkin to keep it sturdy. Fold in half one of the papers you will be using for the body of the pumpkin and cut along that fold. Set the other half aside. Now you're going to fold again lengthwise, open the paper, and take each edge, bringing it to the center and fold. We're now going to create ends for our prism by drawing a vertical line about 1.5 inches away from the edge like this on 3 of the panels. Draw a horizontal line from the vertical line on the crease of the first panel and draw it out to the edge. We're going to do this on each end. Now cut where you drew those lines, leaving the first panel alone. Fold the longer ends of the first panel so it will match the length of the freshly cut panels. Here are the ends of your prism. Now tape it all together. I see one of my folds is a little long on one end, and that's okay. I finished taping it up and trimmed the extra flap. Once your rectangular prism is finished, set it aside. With the other half of the paper, we're going to trace 2 circles. You want your circle to be slightly bigger than your prism. Here, I see the prism fits inside of my circle, so I know it'll be a good fit. Be careful when you're cutting your circles. Remember, the hand holding the paper turns the work, while the hand holding the scissors stays still and cuts the work. Now we're going to cut 16 strips with our last 2 sheets of colored paper for the body of the pumpkin. Take one of the sheets and place it horizontally. You're going to fold it in half. Open it, then take one end of the paper and fold it to the middle crease and press down. Do it to both sides. Then take one edge and fold it to the first crease. From there, you're going to fold towards the crease in the middle. Now, one half of the page has 4 thin panels. Do you see? Repeat the same on the other half of the paper, and now you will have created 8 panels. Do this to both sheets of paper. Here I have folded both of my sheets into 16 panels total. I am going to take one of my pieces of paper and begin cutting the panels at each fold, creating the strips. Now that I have my 16 strips of paper, I am going to take my cardboard backing to protect my workspace, grab one of the circles, and my liquid glue. We are going to begin gluing the strips of paper onto our circle. Let's glue the first 4 strips of paper into a plus sign on the edges of the circle. Twist open your glue bottle just a little bit so that not a lot comes out when you squeeze. Squeeze a few dots onto the edge of each strip of paper and press firmly onto the edge of the circle. Glue the first 4 at the top, bottom, and sides. Once you've glued 4 strips of paper into a plus sign, take 4 more strips of glue and create an X, like this. Remember, when you're using your liquid glue, the rule is just a dot, not a lot. You have finished gluing 8 strips of paper onto the circle. Now it's time to glue the final 8. We're going to do the exact same thing in between each of these glued strips. Take 4 strips of paper and glue another plus sign. Then take the final 4 pieces and glue another X. Once you've glued all 16 strips of paper, set it aside and let it dry for a little bit. Once it is dry, take your rectangular prism and tape it in the center of your pumpkin. Make a loop with your tape with the sticky side facing the outside of the loop. Place it on one end of the prism and stick it onto the circle. Take another couple of loops of tape and place it on the top of the prism. Now take that final circle and place it on top. Here is a side profile of what you should have so far. Let's begin creating our spherical pumpkin shape. You are going to glue each strip of paper underneath the top circle. You want to begin with the outermost layers of paper. You don't want to pick up the bottom strips of paper because it will gather all the other papers on top of it. So start with the ones that don't have any other strips on top of them. Turn it over and glue a few dots at the end of each strip. Press it underneath the top circle. Again, remember the rhyme for glue, just a dot, not a lot. Now we are at the final 8 strips of paper. There isn't anything overlapping them, so we can just glue each strip all the way around. But the tricky part is we need to glue each strip of paper behind the strips that are already glued. Watch slowly. Repeat this part of the video if you need to, and be careful not to squish your pumpkin. Here is a side profile of how to glue the last few strips in between and behind the already glued pieces of paper. After all the strips of paper dried, I turned it over and saw that I liked the shape of the pumpkin upside down. Turn your pumpkin over and see which side of the pumpkin you like. We are halfway there. Let's set aside the cardboard and work on our stem, leaves, and the vines. Fold your paper for the stem in half and cut at the fold. Fold it in half widthwise and cut at the fold again. We are going to make the stem out of this little piece. Fold this piece in half lengthwise like this. Then fold it in half again one more time. On one end, cut a curved point like this. Unfold your paper. At each fold where the points are, cut about 1 to 2 inches. Roll up the paper and glue it shut from the top of the stem, then glue down. Stop where you cut between the folds. Press it closed. Then you're going to peel back the cut points like petals. Spread them out just a little bit, but be careful not to rip your stem. Glue each piece like this and press it down onto the top of your pumpkin. Now you have your stem. Let's work on these leaves and vines. Fold your leaf paper in half and cut at the fold. Draw your leaf shape. Here, I made a leaf with 3 points and curved lines. Fold the paper in half so you can cut 2 sheets of paper at the same time. Now instead of cutting 1 leaf at a time, you have cut 2. Creating the vines is my favorite part. Cut very thin strips of paper lengthwise like this. Then take a pencil and start curling the vines by rolling them around the pencil. Now you've made a curly vine. To give my leaves more form, I curl them a little bit with my fingers by pressing the paper in between my fingers and sliding them down to make a little bend. Find the spots where you want your leaves and vines to be on the top of your pumpkin and glue them in place. Press firmly, but be careful with the stem and the pumpkin. You don't want to squish your pumpkin. I took one of the scraps of paper I saved and signed my name and added today's date on it. On the other side of the paper, I added a little bit of glue and placed it on the bottom of my pumpkin. My pumpkin is now complete. Don't forget to ask for help if you have any questions with the steps in this video. You can get really creative with the colors of your pumpkins and different shapes of leaves. You can also use this method to make other round autumn fruits, like apples. Have fun with this project, and please share with me your artwork if you can. I would love to see your autumn pumpkins. Until next time, have fun and stay creative.